Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to this episode of A Woman's Prerogative, where we provide high-class education for all our viewers. We also encourage our followers to have access to free content that will help them in their journey on Earth. This episode is the power of now, living in the moment. I introduce myself. I am Reverend Lydia Fougères, Reverend in Metaphysics, author of a 2-volume series called 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey, available on Amazon. I am also a spiritual teacher who works on personal transformation, introspection, mindfulness, and compassionate self-discovery. I invite my readers to engage in life through curiosity, clarity, and sense of sacred connections through my programs. I also do one-on-one with my books. You can contact me to register to my groups to achieve an exciting journey on Earth. I am also a country manager for this station for Canada and French speaking countries. If you want to be part of a show, or if you want your own show, I would like to put you in contact with Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, who is owner of this station. So please subscribe to our 2 channels, which are USA Global TV and Radio, and the personal channel of Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, who has thousands of videos, and we will be very happy if you subscribe. I have the honor of having Dr. JACALYN KERBECK actually as a co-host in this show. So she is Private Advisory, Global Media Leadership Founder. She's Executive Producer and Chief Listening Officer for USA Global TV and Radio. She's a Peace Ambassador, best-selling author of several books, and she has won the YouTube Silver Creator Award. So let us welcome this wonderful lady that we all love. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with you for this episode of The Power of Now, Living in the Moment. That's, even though you came up with the title, this is how I live my life. So what was it that prompted you to go with this title for today's show?
Well, the thing is that I have to live in the moment for some time. I actually have to live in the moment because I am going through a time in my life where I have to do many things. And if I look at the future, if I look at what I have to do, well, I will be in panic mode. So I decide to be in the present moment at all times, because panic mode would come if I had to look at all that I have to deliver for, well, the next week. So I decided to talk about the power of now, because I have to be in the power of now.
No, it makes sense, especially when you are doing the many things that you're doing in all the different areas to help other people. And sometimes we are not able to even prioritize time for ourselves. And so also what happens is sometimes we start thinking about what's coming in the future, and then we get off track because now we're thinking about that instead of what we're doing now. So what does living in the moment mean to you?
Well, it means actually being able to stop and just stop thinking. Uh, I am in the process of writing my books in French. So, what I am doing is that when I am overwhelmed, when I realize there are too many mistakes where with the editing or things like that, and I have the deadline, what I do is that I just start breathing, and that is what I do. I just push my computer and stop everything. And I go back to the present moment. I do not think, okay, deadline. I think I have to be now. Now I am doing reflection 37. I am there. So that is where I am, and that is where I stay. So that is my way of doing things in the power of now. So I live the present, the moment, the present moment that way lately.
I think it's always interesting to hear what each person's thoughts are about living in the now and what that means. So thanks for sharing that. That was interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. And you, how do you live your now?
I also have a number of things that I have to get done on any given day, and now I'm in the Wharton program, so I have that additional homework and reading and everything that has to go along with that. So I will just say to myself, even though I want to do, say, watch something on Netflix, I'll say you can watch it for 15 minutes and then you got to go and do what you need to do. And once you do what you need to do, then you can do something else. So I always prioritize everything with my workouts. So there's a certain block of time that I spend every day doing my workouts, and that's non-negotiable. And then I divide the rest of the time minus the hours I'm going to sleep, and then I just figure it out. And so somehow it gets allocated. I sometimes will miss little things. And to me, it might be a little thing, but to somebody else, it might be a big thing. And so I have to write lists and make sure that I get to all the things because I want to make sure that people are getting what they want and people are happy.
Well, that is a lot because I know your schedule. I know how busy you are. I know you have so many projects going on and producing everything, and this channel is not easy to take care of, and you do absolutely everything from A to Z. So I know what you are going through because I see you do that day after day after day. So if you can be in your present moment and watch 15 minutes of Netflix, you deserved it. You really did deserve it because I do not know. I would not be able to actually juggle your schedule because you have such a crazy schedule.
Well, I do have to share that we have 4 producers now. So there are producers who are producing other shows. You just see me because I produce our show in the one before, but there are other people producing. And then we have a team of people who do search engine optimization. And we have a team of people who do social media marketing. So I'm not alone. But of course, as I delegate to other people, I take on more things because that's just the way that I am. So I'm always looking at where the media industry is growing and where it's going, and then applying what I learned from Wharton in the Chief Strategy Officer program to where I'm going. And then I have a whole coaching business and private advisory. And so it's been an interesting journey, and it's not boring. I can tell you that much.
Oh, certainly not, because your life is really far from boring. You have so much to do, but you are so into your workout. I have to start working out again, because the thing is that I stopped working out because I had so much to do, and I realized that I let myself down. I did not let anyone down except myself, because by letting go of the workout that I used to do daily, I actually realized that, I am the one paying the price. So the workout is so very important. And this is something that I have to rectify and start again, because what really was helpful for me was the workout. That discipline was so very important. And when I work out, I am in the present moment because I love working out. So the thing is that I will actually do like you. No reason not to work out. The thing is that I will start the workout again. So I will stop thinking about the future and what I could have done better. And no, that is it. So when what's past, I did not do well. Let us say I did something I could have done better because I am a perfectionist. Well, I will think I did my best. So, what do you think of that?
I think that makes a lot of sense, because every day that we wake up, we get to make decisions and choices about what we're going to do. And if something didn't work out yesterday, or there wasn't time for something, you can look at incorporating it into your schedule today. And I know for me, and this is really different, and I hate to even bring it up, but I will. Sometimes, if there is a day where I can't work out, like today, it's been 8 days in a row, and really I could take off today, but I'm not going to. But let's say I did. I would not, instead of what I normally do, take a walk outside for 15 minutes or do some push-ups. I just won't do anything. I'll just take the day as a day of rest and a day of recovery. Whereas some other people would be like, well, if I'm not going to go and lift weights, or I'm not going to take classes, I will do something around the home so that at least I'm doing something. So I think it's just a matter of what works for you. I mean, you could just start incorporating some things. Like, one thing is, with your back up against the wall and you slide down so that your knees are bent, you're working your quads and your glutes, and you can do planks. There's all kinds of things that you can do even at home that will have an effect. But I think it really has to do with the mindset.
You are so right. You are so right. It really has to do with the mindset, because when we set our mind to do it, we do it. So, it's the thing is but we have the weight of the then and the when. So then it was, and when will it be? So we think about those things. That is why we have so much trouble staying in the present moment, because we ask so much of ourselves. So we get into all kinds of engagements, and we just forget to stay in our present moment, because we think I cannot reclaim my now because I realize that I have this to do, and we lose our power. So, what do you think of that?
I think that when we look at working out as something we get to do instead of something that we have to do, that it really changes things around. And not everyone can work out for a number of reasons. But when we realize it really is a gift, and it's a gift that we get to give to ourselves, then I think it really changes everything. What do you think?
I think you are right. I think you are right, because I've done wall Pilates for years and years and years. And the thing is that I I am in love with wall Pilates. I have to admit, it is something that I love doing. And it actually is a relaxation for me. So working out with wall Pilates actually is something that is very important to me. It is just that I was starting to be lazy, and now it is time to go back to my love, which is Pilates. Well, we're not talking about my spouse. We're talking about exercising. But the thing is that it is very important to do what we love. And you love working out, and I love working out. It is just that I had become lazy. I have to admit it. I had become lazy. So, and things happened in my life that actually made me stop going because I was actually doing so many things. I was always outside, I was always gone. I had to travel a lot. And I found all kinds of reasons not to do it. So now it is over. I am a lot more at home. I do my work at home. And now it's time to start over. So I can do it. So what do
Good
you
for
think?
you for realizing that. Absolutely. And we do have a number of comments. Yes, this is a live TV show. So the fact that you've realized what's going on, I give you a lot of credit. You've acknowledged it. You've acknowledged it publicly on a television show that'll be out there forever. And you've taken responsibility for it. And I think that has a lot to do with the power of now also, that we can sort of wallow in what was or what wasn't, what didn't happen, or what's going on today. Or we can say, okay, this is my situation right now. What can I do to make it the best that it can possibly be? And for most of us, we need to exercise, we need to move. And I know when I was in corporate, you're sitting at a desk for a lot of time, or you're on a plane, or you're on a train, or you're in a taxi, or whatever the case may be. You're sedentary and you really need to get out there. So taking the power of now and living in the moment, but making it a moment that can build on the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, so that there are many moments where you're really enjoying yourself.
Exactly. And what do you think of meditation to reclaim the power of now?
I think meditation is very important. I'm actually a certified meditation instructor, although I don't do it anymore, but I got certified during the pandemic. And I think there's many different ways to meditate, and there's the opportunity to just do it anywhere at any time. And the feedback that I've heard from people over the years is that they just can't do it. They don't know how to do it. They're not able to do it. But we tell ourselves that about many things before we actually get the knowledge so that we can try something. We just say, okay, I'm not doing it, or I'm afraid, I have anxiety, I'm not going to be any good at it. There's always that fear of failure. But once you embrace it and you learn how to do it, and you learn to take your thoughts and channel them, keep them at bay, acknowledge them, let them go, then you can really start to tap into the benefits of meditation and also affirmations.
Exactly, exactly. Because, yes, teaching meditation is not easy because people get discouraged. And you are one that actually makes them understand that meditation is not about sitting in the lotus position and actually just being in the present moment. You know that there are other methods, and you have been able to teach that to them. So that is very important because you understood what meditation is, and that is what you have taught. But when it comes to the power of reclaiming your present moment, what do you do actually to reclaim your present moment when you realize that you are stressed out, stressed out? What do you do to actually reclaim your present moment? What would be a good way for you?
I talk out loud. I talk out loud all the time. I'm in the car talking out loud. I'm at home talking out loud, and I just start to work through it. So, first of all, I am not a person who lives in the past. I have worked very hard not to go backwards. There's some parts of my life that I don't actually remember, and probably because they're unpleasant. If I actually sat down and I wanted to figure it out, I'm sure I could, but I don't want to, because here I am today. And so I've learned lessons from things in the past. And at the same time, I'm not looking into the future and trying to project what's going to happen even tomorrow. When I find sometimes, even if I'm working out and I think, oh, what am I going to be doing in another 25 minutes? I'll say, no, come back to where you are. So one of the techniques is keeping your head where your feet are. And then the next thing I would suggest is being aware of the fact that you're emotional for some reason, acknowledging it. I feel upset. I feel afraid. I feel angry. I feel resentful. I feel happy. And just acknowledging it. Okay, next. And I'm always off and running to find the solution, because even controlling your emotions or dealing with your emotions, there's a solution to it. So that's what I do. What are your thoughts about what I shared?
Well, I think it's very everything. Those ways are all good. I do. Those are ways. Well, they're the best actually. To keeping your head where your feet are. That is a good, very good expression. I had never heard that one. But the thing is that you really nailed it. You understand it. I know that one way that actually I helped people with when I was working as a nurse was a deck of cards that actually it was the emotions. They were actually about emotions. So there were something like 50 emotions, and they actually, I would tell the person to choose 10 emotions and that they were living right now. So I would let them choose 10 emotions, and I would ask questions about their emotions, and then they would figure it out. So by figuring it out, they would actually understand more what was going on in their life, and they would go back to the present moment. So what do you think about this method?
I think that method makes sense. Absolutely. I think anything that you can do to keep yourself in the present is important. And I shared with you keeping your head where your feet are. Someone shared that with me many, many years ago, because I think I was much more prone to drama. And what I mean by drama is somebody tells you something and then you get all involved in it, and then you start taking a side about it, and then you tell someone else about it, and then they take a side, and it just goes on and on and on. And I guess that would be called gossip. And many, many, many years later, I don't get involved with that. And you've addressed that really well, and you've actually walked out of situations where people are talking about someone, or you said, I'll get them on the phone and bring them in. But I think if we look at what are these situations we're putting ourselves in by choice, and then what are the situations that maybe we don't have a choice? It doesn't look like we have a choice. We're involved for some reason, but we always have a choice. So I will tie that with something else I've shared many times. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And by accepting the fact that the person has shown you how they react and the way that they respond to things says something about them. It's not a judgment, but it says something about them. And you can pretty much guarantee for any one of us that we are going to show up the same way again and again, unless we have taken the time to work on ourselves. And Reverend, you and I work on ourselves all the time. I would say the majority of the people on our team work on themselves all the time, but not everyone does. And people will get very involved with circumstances and what's going on outside of their immediate control, and they start to blame that. Or, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, they're looking for external validation. And when they don't get it, they become very angry, and they're no longer living in the present. And they just start to unravel.
Oh, you are so right. So right. Actually, some people get so angry. Some people get so angry about everything, about anything and everything. I know that some people actually calling, let us say an event happens. An event happens, and it is with a certain person. But the thing is that there's another person that has nothing to do with the situation. But the other person calls you, starts being absolutely crazy, and you are blamed. They do not even know the circumstances, and that is the way it is. And they go in drama mode, as you say, in drama mode. And the thing is that they cannot be in the present moment because you cannot even talk some sense into them. So they cannot be in the present moment because they are in someone else's moment. So they do not only forget about the present moment, they even take someone else's moment. And that other person's moment is absolutely ridiculous. So some people do that. They go as far as taking someone else's moment to actually go in drama mode. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, you really summed it up so well. I absolutely love that they're actually in someone else's drama. They're in someone else's story. They're in someone else's situation. And it's funny because I watch reality TV, and one of the shows that I watch is one of the Real Housewives shows. And it's interesting because, first of all, they all need a lesson, in my opinion, on listening. There's very little listening going on. There's a lot of judging. There's a lot of screaming. And I'm sure that makes for good television, but it gets boring after a while. But what I'll see is two people are having a conversation, and then a third person happens to walk up and just cuts into the conversation and starts giving their opinion. It's like, no, let the two people figure out what they have to figure out. And then you also see people taking sides. And it's kind of like, you don't have to take a side. But I think the main thing is, don't bring your drama to another group of people. Settle your drama at a different time. And if you happen to have a difference of opinion with someone in the real time, just say, hey, you know what, we're not agreeing right now. Let's set up a time to actually converse about this. But people forget about that because their emotions get the best of them. And so even though, and I've said this a million times here on our platform, we could be interviewing someone and all of a sudden they share something. We had no idea they're going to share it. And it might be completely different than what we feel and what we believe. But it's not our job to go one-on-one with the person and call the person out and have a debate, because it's a TV show about a certain topic. But yet that's what people will do in the real life. They will just go down this rabbit hole that there's no reason for them to go down. And here's another example. We see this all the time on social media. Someone is on a plane and they're not doing what they're being asked to do. And all of a sudden, everybody's got the camera out. Let's all videotape what's about to happen here. And then they start yelling at the person. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And then the person's yelling back at them. And it goes back and forth. And before you know it, there's a brawl going on. And now they bring in the authorities and people are getting arrested. It's like, you don't have to get arrested. Just stay in your seat, sit forward and mind your own business, and let the people who work there, who are trained for this, let them work it out. But that's what happens on a daily basis in scenarios around the world.
Well, that is quite interesting. I did not know about those things. I have to admit, I do not watch reality shows. I never did. So I do not really know what goes on in a reality show. And the thing is that you are right about people just walking in when people are talking to one another. People just walk in and then give their opinion when they don't even know what the subject is. But the thing is that when we do TV shows, we actually have to understand that we have to agree to disagree. The thing is that, and when we disagree, we stay silent. That is all. That is the way it is. We are doing a TV show. We are not sharing our opinion, whatever. The person is there to actually give their opinion, and we are there to actually respect their opinion. That is why they are there. So as a host, we have the obligation to actually be there and listen. And no matter what they say, we have to agree to disagree. So the thing is that, we do not say a word, because the thing is that saying something actually is ruining the moment of our guest. So that is the way it is. We are not allowed to ruin our guest's moment. So that is the way I see hosting a show, or hosting an event also. The same thing for hosting an event. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think what it comes down to is we as humans think that we are helping, we're going to get someone to understand our perspective. But imagine if someone tries to talk to us about something and get us to understand their perspective. We actually have to take the time and process it. So what ends up happening in many cases is what I think of as bullying. It's kind of like, well, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you why. Because you believe this, you're that. I don't want anything more to do with you. And we never even understand another person's perspective. And it's almost like we are supposed to be clones of one another, that we're supposed to believe the exact same thing. And there's no free thought process. And we've seen scenarios, we've seen movies, we've seen situations where people have tried to control other people's brains. And it's not a pleasant thing. So the fact that we have the ability to think on our own, but yet we can't express it, really says something. And again, it's how we express ourselves. Are we expressing ourselves in a respectful manner? Or are we trying to out-talk, over-talk, yell and scream? Imagine if you and I were doing this TV show right now, and it was like point counterpoint, and you were saying one thing and I was saying something else, and all we were doing was, you're that thing, you're that, screaming, and you're like, oh my gosh, we would get a headache. We wouldn't want to do it. The audience, listen, some group of people would like that. They would like it. They'd like the screaming and yelling. Hey, look at this. This is unbelievable. Most people would not, because first of all, we're not even going to know what either one of us is saying because we're yelling. And then our blood pressure's up. We're getting a headache potential. And it's kind of like, no, but yet that's what goes on. If you think about it in relationships, it's kind of like, I just witnessed it in a professional relationship. One person cut off the speaker, and it was a paid event. So people were paying to listen to the speaker. And this person in the audience cut him off. And then he was trying to talk. He kept over talking, double talking, raising his voice. He's talking even louder now. And I just got up and left. I was like, no, I'm not sitting for this. So I think living in the moment is also showing up with respect, compassion, and integrity. What do you think, Reverend?
I think the same thing, because what I wrote. I wrote a reflection that says when you speak in God's words. So the thing is that, what would God say if actually it was his situation and he would explain something to the person? How would he talk? Well, the divine source, we're not talking he or she. How would the divine source talk? So that is what I wrote. And we have to think, how would the divine source address the person? The divine source would not actually accuse, would not be mean to the person. So we have to understand that we have to think the way the divine source thinks. So that is the best way to go through our life. So what do you think of that?
I think that makes a lot of sense. Each of us probably believes in something different. I know of people who don't really believe in anything except what's right in front of them. So whatever it is, I think what we can really take away from what we're talking about is embrace the moment, because in a second, the moment will be gone. It'll be a different moment. And if you find that most of your waking moments are unpleasant, they're filled with anxiety, you're probably open to making some other choices, because having a life that's filled with peace, which does not mean it's perfect, by the way. That does not mean everything is perfect, hunky-dory, swell. No, of course not, because that's not reality. Life's always throwing us curveballs. But choosing how we show up is something that we can control. And then also deciding we're not getting involved in someone else's life. And if they ask for our opinion, really think before you give it. Because once you give the opinion, if they're not in a place of strength and feeling good about themselves, they may come back to you and say, it's all your fault. You ruined everything. I never should have listened to you. And who wants that responsibility? And of course, we can't ruin another person's life, right? Everybody has to look and see how we're showing up. Now, if you do something malicious that's, endangers someone's safety, that's a different story. So, Reverend, we're like almost out of time, which is incredible. But what would you say, because I shared this before, we could stay here all day if we had the time and just continue talking, but everything has to have a boundary, right? Because if there was no boundary, then we might be talked out and we wouldn't be able to come back next week. So what does living in the moment mean right now, today, April 13th? What does it mean to you at this moment of this day in this year right now?
It means to stop. When you are overwhelmed, when you do not know where you are going, you stop. No matter, you cannot do better. You stop and you just stop thinking. That is the way I see. Because the world will turn no matter what you are doing. You are just a person after all. So that is my takeaway.
Fantastic. Reverend, what's the best way for people to reach you and who can you help?
Well, I can help people. I do my programs according to my books, and there are 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey. And I do healings. I help do healings because I am a born healer. So I do one-on-one on Zoom. So this is healing, no matter. Time and space does not exist. And also I listen. So if they have to have someone listen to them, as a holistic nurse, I am a good listener and I do not judge. So 1514-582-6882. I am in Canada. So thank you very much, Dr. JACALYN, for having been with us. And you also have very interesting books that are for sale on Amazon, because you actually wrote several books on elevated listening. And we should actually pay attention to what you have written. So thank you very much for being on the show. Namaste.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover Holy but Harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives by Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at Fine Book.
My Tummy Hurts by Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Meet Jackie. She loves recess, running with friends and laughing on the playground. At school, Jackie tries to play like she always does, but suddenly the pain comes back. Lately, something feels different and her tummy hurts, sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. With the help of a caring teacher, a nurse, her mom, and a kind doctor, Jackie begins to understand what her body is trying to tell her. Sometimes tummy pain is more than a simple bellyache. Some children live with conditions like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Jackie listens to her body. She asks for help. She knows she's not alone. and Jackie finds her way back to running, laughing, and being herself. My Tummy Hurts, A Kid's Guide to Bellyaches and Bathroom Troubles by Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, available on Amazon and in fine bookstores around the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.